What is going on, guys? Sorry, no video for the last couple days. That's not because I quit YouTube. I was never going to quit YouTube. I was just saying that it's going to be a little bit harder to upload and maybe not as often. But yeah, definitely not quitting. And I was waiting for parts to show up so I could make more content, and we got it. But first, before I get to that, I also got a package. Look at all this merch. There's a lot of shit here. And I'm going to talk to you guys about where this merch came from. Oh my gosh, there's enough room. Okay, so, Raven, would you be so kind to read this letter?
Oh gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot. It's like reading in front of your class.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't film me.
Okay. I mean...
What's up, man?
Okay, we're ready.
I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to send out some of our gear. A short description of what our brand is all about. It's all about family and cars. With our products we offer, there's always a message behind them. Inside you will see our seat time over everything, crew neck, drive filthy t-shirt, clutch kicking cancer t-shirt, and more. We run a we run a fundraiser within the Northeast Drift community, Clutch Kicking Cancer, to help raise money for St. Jude Research Hospital. I hope you enjoy our merch. Feel free to give us some feedback on any of these products. Keep up the great work. Sincerely, Ryan Cardo.
Okay, so basically a couple different things. One, these are a bunch of dads that are into drifting, and since I'm going to be a dad here and
such a dad now,
and very, very soon, that's cool to be a part of that. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but my dad passed away of cancer when I was very young. So I'm going to put a link to their website in the description. Also follow them on Instagram right here. And I can't wait to wear some of this merch. I'll probably wear this hat today, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to wear this hat today. So big shout out to these guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's even some smalls in here for Raven.
And this is, I love this sticker. This is my favorite gum.
So now moving on. Over here we got a littler box. Littler. And this is from G-Force Transmissions. Now, this box wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Micah Diaz. So shout out to Micah Diaz. We got some Tex Racing stickers, some instructions, a new shim, and... Dun, 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 dun. Brand new G-Force gears. Check that out. So we've got a new third and a new fourth gear. So hopefully I can get this thing together here in the next day, which I'm going to film that with you guys, and have this thing back on the road. We'll go do a test drive, go to the gas station. It's kind of my go-to whenever I change something on the car, drive to the gas station and get a snack. So big shout out to G-Force. I'll put their Instagram right here and a link to their website. With how easy it is to service these gearboxes, I mean, it is a no-brainer to spend the money one time and have a gearbox for the rest of your life, essentially. Unless somehow you like run over a huge rock and break the case in half, you can rebuild these things. And I mean, here's third gear, 500 bucks. It slips off, slip a new one on, put it back together how it was, add 1 quart of transmission fluid, throw it back in the car, and be good to go. So thank you, Micah. Thank you, Tex Racing, G-Force. You guys are the shit, and it's gonna be a good day. All right, guys. So it's transmission rebuild day. These are the old gears. Once again, they're toast. G-Force sent me a new gear set. Now I've already put this together without filming to make sure that I knew what I was doing before I gave you guys any advice on doing this. So I spoke with one of the techs over at G-Force to kind of walk me through it. Told me the info that I didn't know, and got it together. But now I'm going to take it back apart and put it together again and talk about it a little bit and show you guys what I'm doing. So here we go. And just like that, it's back apart again and ready for a rebuild. Now this is a rebuild for 3rd and 4th gear sets on the GSR G-Force gearbox. This is a gearbox that was used in NASCAR. I don't think they're using this one anymore, but very nice. They are expensive, but the good part about it is it's so easy to service. You buy your case one time and you have a transmission for life essentially. So what we got here is we got some needle bearings that are going to sit right there, and then in here there's another bearing. Alright, so I'm just going to put it together. I'm going to do it one-handed essentially so I can show you guys. I don't know how many of you guys have one of these or have serviced your own if you do have one, but it's very simple, and I highly suggest you make this investment if you are trying to, you know, drive across the country and go drifting. Something breaks in your transmission, the good part about it is you don't need a new transmission. You can rebuild it in a couple hours if you have the spare parts with you. So this side here is considered the main shaft, and this is the cluster shaft or cluster side. And so you have a top gear, bottom gear for the sets, 3rd, 4th gear. I'm going to start with 3rd gear first, and then we'll move forward. All right, hopefully that view is good. So we have the main shaft side for 3rd gear. So this is just going to slide on over these needle bearings. It sits really close to this mid plate here. Then we have, I guess this would be the dog ring or the slider. That sits on like that. Then you've got your hub, the recessed side. We're actually going to blow this out with some brake clean real fast. Clean that off. Probably going to give this whole thing a nice little spray down with some brake clean. Get any materials that came off the old gears or, you know, gave us any trouble. Get them all out of there. So now this is going to slide on like that. Simple enough. We've got this bearing here, these shims. Slides on bearing first. Okay. Clean off 3rd gear real fast. Give a nice little wipe down. Okay. Slide these guys back on there. Boom, just like that. We've got, I think this is technically the slider. And that goes in the middle. So it doesn't really matter how this slides on, but if you want to put whatever dog side, whichever dog has the most wear, you want to put towards 3rd. So this side has the most wear, so I'm going to put it towards 3rd. I did not replace the dogs, just the gear sets. Boom, just like that. Alright, then we have our input shaft, which is just going to slide on just like that. Very simple. Oh, wrong one. Clean this off. And then the spacer. This will space the gear away from the bearing inside the case. So that's going to slide on there and sit just like that. Okay. Okay, so now we've got the bottom gear for 3rd. God, see how it's so easy to make mistakes when you are explaining something and installing it. I forgot to put on the bottom gear for third. Okay. Here we go. So it's notch right there. Okay, now we've got fourth gear on the cluster side. And just like that, we have a rebuilt GSR. Still got to go in the case and put reverse gear on, but that's how you would change a gear if you had a broken, you know, third gear on the main shaft side. You would just pull it apart, lay your parts out in order, and clean them. You know, make sure your hands are clean. I'm not wearing gloves, but my hands are clean, and get it back together. So you got slider there, boom, boom, boom. All right. Now, if you look all the way in the back there, can you guys see that seal? It's damaged. Yeah, there it is, right there. That seal behind the bearing is what I need to replace. I spoke with the guys at G-Force, and they said they have a part number that I can cross-reference and go to an auto parts store and get that. Girls, go get him! Go get him! Go get him! Go get him! Alright, so I'm back at the house now. This is the seal that cross-reference from the one that G-Force uses. This is a national oil seal, and it's for a T56 actually. It's a 26 spline input shaft, so hopefully that works. I'm just going to pop that bearing out, replace that seal, pop the bearing back in, and then bring the case over here and slide this whole thing back together. And yeah, hopefully it's as easy as that. Alright, so here's our old one. You can see it's torn right there. Basically, if I left that in there, we would have gear oil pass by that and drip down onto the clutch. So now we have our new one. It's going to go right in there. You have this clip that holds it in place, and that's it. So I'm glad that I got the right piece, because the guy at the auto parts store wasn't sure either, so good. So now that everything's clean, we got our new seal in. The gear assembly and input shaft will go through. Input shaft will come out there. This right here, this is the front case, I guess, butts up against here, then the middle case right about there. And then we'll basically hook everything up, put it neutral, make sure everything spins. We'll leave the top case off, make sure I did everything right on my end, and throw it back in the car. So without the dogs engaged, this would be, if we put it here, that would be in gear. See how it catches? That's it in gear. So we slide that out. We're going to put this thing in neutral. Spin it both ways. Boom! Yes! So, now there's still reverse to put together. We got a C-clamp here that needs to go on. We have our three nuts and washers. And this will grab onto here. Just going to line that up. Perfect right there. So the last thing we have to do before the tail end of the case goes on is the safety wire for the shifter fork for reverse. Everything on this thing is safety wired, and that's to ensure that no bolts back all the way out. It's a very expensive gearbox. You don't want something like that to ruin everything. So we're gonna use this cool little safety wire twining tool to run some safety wire from this around here, and then got the gear and bearings on here. So this will slide on onto the studs, and we'll use our nut and bolts, nut and bolt it up. Put the shifter forks on the dog rings, the main dogs for first and second and third and fourth. Attach the shifter and it'll be ready to go in the car. Alright, she's back together. Everything's good. Double checked everything. This is my first time doing this, so you know, bear with me, but I think it's a job well done, and I think we're gonna put it in the car, and I think it's gonna work fantastic. Alright, gearbox is in. Last thing, we're gonna add some gear oil. I've never used the Royal Purple gear oil before, but they were out of the shit I usually get. This is a 75 140, extra thick. Hopefully that helps, you know, from wear on these gears and heat breaking it down. I'm going to start changing gear oil after every event instead of every other event, and hopefully that helps. So I got this little pump, I'm going to go throw it in. I can't film under there, it's pitch black. I already tried. I know that you guys would love to see more of me working on the car, but it's just, that's just how it is. So you can see shifters up there, putting the drive shaft in now. So I'm going to pump this thing full of some Royal Purple and hopefully it'll be good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it, I think. I gotta turn this off real fast. Shout out to Expire. Alright, so everything's back together. Actually, we have one bolt that's on the transmission that goes to the bell housing that I need a different Allen for because it's just such a bitch to get to. Tyler somehow did it last time. He switched the transmission out, but I just can't get it, so I'm gonna get a socket for it. But it's the moment of truth. We're about to fire the car up. There's no exhaust on it. It's extremely loud, and we're gonna run it through all 4 gears, first through fourth, and then we're gonna try reverse and make sure that it works. I'm kind of nervous. This is my first time rebuilding the dog box, but dude, I had help and we got it done. So here we go. It's about to be loud as fuck. Alright, and since the guys at Tex Racing, G-Force were such a huge help through this whole thing, we're going to throw one of their stickers on the corner window here. That's going to do it for today's video. I couldn't be happier. It's ready to go. We're going to get the exhaust fixed, the hanger's cracked, and probably go to Citrus County this coming Saturday, not tomorrow, but next Saturday, to do a demo. Myself and Kevin Phillips. So if you go to the area, come out to Citrus County Speedway, watch the demo. I'm going to try and work out a way to, I don't know, give a few people ride-alongs. So come out, and then after that, I'll be in Gainesville at the firm July 1st for that drift event. So hopefully I'll see all of you there, and thanks for watching. Peace.